Hello everyone. It's update day. You know what that means? New stuff on Roots. This week being a very important stepping stone. There is big changes coming to the server. Massive overhauls to the fundamental gameplay and roleplay on the server. I am currently in the midst of making character stats. What this means is that in the very near future, you will be able to allocate points into different statistics that define what your character is, how strong you are, how smart you are, how creative and well-disciplined you are, as well as how much you feel the pain of others. This new statistics system is going to be turning things from just RP into more like RPG. So it's not just a description of your character, but it's the actual functional, real, mechanical ability that you have and what separates you from other people, the things that you can do that others can't. But before I go too deeply into the statistics, which is not part of this week's update, not what is currently on the server, there is a new primary stat alongside Vitality, and this stat primarily affects your statistics. Now, while the statistics are not in the game, that means that this new stat, which I call Mood, currently doesn't really do anything. However, it is fully interactive. Things can increase it, and things can decrease it. And over the course of this week, while I'm continuing to work on the statistics system, I'm going to be analyzing and getting feedback from people regarding the rates at which it increases and decreases, because I want to fine-tune it before the statistics actually release on the server, because mood is going to have a very heavy impact on how you interact with your own statistics. Alright, so what exactly is mood? Well, it's fairly self-explanatory, really. It is how well your character feels. Just as vitality is something that you need to do to take care of your character's body, mood is a stat that represents how well you are taking care of your character's mind, their mental state, their emotions, that sort of thing. Now, your mood obviously is going to increase and decrease based on things that happen to you and in your environment. For example, if you get hurt, your mood is going to go down. If you eat very filling food when you are hungry, of course, your mood is going to increase. There's a lot of logic that I want to put into the mood system. Lots of things that you imagine would make you feel better or feel worse do. So, for example, being in a comfortable place like your apartment will make your mood slowly increase. Eating something like chocolate is going to increase your mood more than a stale piece of bread. And you actually have a property in your character called empathy, which means not only is your mood affected by yourself getting hurt, but if you see another person getting hurt, or if you're hurting another person yourself, that's going to affect your mood. And how much it affects your mood is based on your empathy. Now, empathy is one of those stats that I was mentioning before that I'd like to have coming out next week, but we'll see. Empathy is something that could be increased and decreased, and depending on how you play your character, it could have benefits at both ends. Very high empathy means you'd be really good at healing and cooking, essentially helping out others. However, that also means that when you see other people get hurt, or if for whatever reason you have to hurt them yourself, that means that it's really going to bother you, because you're sensitive to that sort of thing. You're sensitive to how others feel. But if your empathy is very low, if you hurt somebody, it doesn't really bother you all that much. But that also means that you're not really very good at helping them, because you don't really know what it means to help them. So you can imagine doctors and chefs would want to have very high empathy, and people who are fighters, especially people in civil protection, would want to have very low empathy, if any at all. There's a variety of different things which affect your mood, and going into them now would take too much time, so I suggest that you explore it yourself, and I am eagerly awaiting feedback on this, because I know the rates need to be adjusted, and I would like to see how people feel about how much things increase or decrease, and what needs to be adjusted to make it ready for next week. But a useless new stat is not the only thing that I added this week. Have no worries about that. There is a variety of other things that have been contributed alongside mood. 100 sterilized credits qualifies non-mechanical reproduction simulation. Now, that is actually a viable option for you to choose. Non-mechanical reproduction simulation, of course, as the name would imply, is a bottle of pills. The pills being a variety of different chemicals that your body naturally already produces, just a whole lot of them all at once. It basically fries your brain for a while, and it's probably extremely addictive, but it's a nice offset to all of the hardship that you endure while playing Civil Protection. Now, Civil Protection have received more than just a rank leader reward. They've also been given the USP as now a standard issue firearm, so it no longer requires a certain amount of rank points and thus sterilized credits in order to have access to the 9mm pistol. It's now just part of your normal arsenal. This has had a really huge impact on the interactions between Civil Protection and the Resistance on the server. Now you know that every CP that you kill is at the very least going to drop a gun. And that also means that every CP is able to fight back. There's more risk and there's more reward. It's better for everybody. Now, speaking of rewards, CPs had a lot of risk and no rewards before. If they killed an anti-citizen that was attacking them, they didn't get anything out of it. Now they do. This week I added automatic rewards coming from Overwatch for performing certain actions. Just as you can be demoted for doing things you're not supposed to, now you're rewarded for doing things you are supposed to. Confiscating things such as weapons and ammo, as well as taking down citizens which are malignant and violent, are going to reward you with rank points. The combination of these two things has really spiced up the gameplay in the city. There's a lot more rebel activity, which is good for the CPs. There's actually something to do, and you're not just losing rank points every time you die. There's actually something to gain out of it on both sides now, which has made it a lot more exciting for everyone. And of course, this week I've also done lots of fixes. Things that I didn't have time for in the past, I set aside time for now. The force field also has been totally fixed. The force field previously was kind of backwards in terms of how its collisions worked. Civil Protection could go through it, but it acted like a solid wall to basically everything else. It's no longer like that. Now it only blocks certain things from going through it. That means now props and items can go through it, and of course you can shoot through it. I'm most interested in hearing your feedback on your interactions with the new mood system so that I can get ready for the statistics, which is coming out very soon.